Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen, and today in my kitchen we are making vegetable samosas. So let's get started. The ingredients that we need to make the samosas are 1 onion. I've got a medium sized onion and I finely diced that. Potatoes cut into cubes. I'm using British new potatoes. You can use any potatoes you want to, but just make sure that they're cut into cubes and they're not sweet. Just cut them into small cubes. 2 spring onions, finely sliced. 200 grams of frozen peas. 4 green chilies. I'm using 4, but you can use as many as you want to. And coriander for garnishing. Now this was for the filling. Now for the pastry, I'm using plain flour. So I have got plain flour in the bowl, and I have actually using 3 cups of this measuring cups of plain flour. 3 whole measuring cups of plain flour and 2 tablespoons of plain flour we need for the slurry paste that we're going to make to actually use as glue to stick the samosas together. So let's get started for the filling. So in a frying pan I have got 3 tablespoons of oil. I'm going to let the oil warm up, and once it's warmed up I'm going to put in the onion. Give it a mix. Now I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. Mix it together. Now at this point I'm going to add in the spring onions. Mix that together. Now I'm going to add in green chilies. As you can see, now the onions are starting to get color. It's getting golden brown. And they have softened up as well. So at this stage, I'm going to add in the frozen peas. The peas are stuck to the bowl. Mix it well. And now I'm going to add in the potatoes. And I'm going to mix all of this together. So the onion and the peas have to be mixed with the potatoes well. Now I'm going to add in the spices. 1.5 teaspoon of salt, one and a half teaspoon of red chili powder, but you can actually add as much as you want to. 1 teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of fenugreek leaves, and a pinch of crushed red chili. This is optional. You can add it if you want to, or if you don't want to, it doesn't really matter. Mix the spices well. There are many ways to actually make vegetable samosas. With the potatoes, some people boil it first, some people fry it and put it in, but this is the way that I do it. So now that the spices and the potatoes and the peas are mixed together, at this stage now I'm going to add in the water. I have a 500 ml of water down here. I'm going to add half a glass. 250 ml of water we need to add in here. And now leave it on the lower heat just so that it simmers. So whilst the potato mixture is on a lower heat, let's prepare the pastry for the samosas. So in the plain flour, I'm going to add in a pinch of cumin seeds and also a pinch of carom seeds. So in the 3 cups of plain flour that we got, the 3 measuring cups, I'm going to make a well. And I'm going to add in water gradually, slowly by slowly add in the water and just make it into a dough, a fine dough, like bread dough or pizza dough. So I'm putting water in little at a time. Just put the water in little at a time and just mix the dough. Now I'm going to knead the dough. We need to knead the dough between 3 to 5 minutes. Once the dough is done, this is how it should be. So once the dough is done, we need to let it rest it for minimum an hour. So I'm going to cover this with cling film and let it rest. So after 15 minutes, the mixture is ready. So now I'm going to add in the coriander. And we need to let it rest. Basically, we need to let it cool down. So what I'm going to do, if you're in a hurry like me, I'm going to actually transfer the mixture into a bowl and I'm going to put it in the freezer for 5 to 10 minutes. But if you can wait, you can let it cool down on its own normal process. And whilst that is going to cool down, I am actually going to make the slurry, the paste for the pastry to stick it on together. So in 2 tablespoons of plain flour, just gradually add in water and make it into a thick paste. It shouldn't be that thin. Make sure you mixed it in well so there are no lumps left. So whilst my mixture is in the freezer, what we're going to do is we're going to start on the pastry. Now for the samosa pastry, first of all, in my frying pan, I've got a frying pan here and I'm going to make some chapatis. So we need to get a little bit of the flour, the dough, sorry, and I'm going to dust my chopping board with some flour. So I'm going to roll the dough and with my fingers I'm going to press them down. Just press it down with your fingers. Put the heat on the low, so it has to be on the lowest heat, and just roll it out. So if we just roll out our dough, the bigger we need to make the chapati size, the bigger our samosas will be, and they have to be very thinly rolled out. It doesn't have to, it shouldn't be thick, otherwise the samosa will be thick pastry. Now I'm going to get it on my hand and I'm going to shake off the excessive flour, and then I'm going to put it in the frying pan. And as you can see, the pastry, the chapati pastry of the samosa is changing color. That's all it needs to be done. That's it. I'm going to turn the side over, and exactly as soon as it's changed color from the other side, I'm going to take it off. So what we need to see is just the changing the color. Once the chapati changes the color, change the side, and once that's done the color, just take it off. So now let's make another one. Just roll it out as thinly as possible. This is it, it's done. This chapati is done. Now we need to put it in a kitchen towel so that it stays moist and it does not dry up. So now my chapatis are ready and the filling has cooled down as well. And in a wok I have put vegetable oil for frying. You don't need to fill the wok in. I've put half the way through because I'm going to shallow fry it, not deep. We need to use a deep pan to actually fry the samosas. That's why I'm using a wok. So now we need to cut the chapatis in half so they're equally sized. Now we get half the chapati, basically, which is a half moon. We've got our slurry, pastry bush and a spoon. So now put the chapati on the chopping board, and it's a half moon size. So we're going to put we're going to fold half of the chapati in like a triangle, and on the triangle we're going to paste in the slurry, the glue. And now we're going to get the other triangle and overlap it. Basically we need it to make a cone shape. So make sure that the whole triangle is fully glued with the slurry, the paste. And now basically we need to make it a cylinder, a cone. Just press it where we've used the glue, just press it in, and it's a cone shape. So just press in the parts where we've used the glue. And now we need to put in the filling. Do not overfill your samosas, otherwise they will open whilst frying. And when you're putting the vegetables or the fillings in, make sure you press it down so that it can go to the end. Now with the glue, just put the paste on the, I will call it the glue so it'll be easier. So if we use the glue and we actually put it around the corners, on the edges, and now we're going to press it down, and then we get a fork and we press it down with a fork. Firmly press it down with a fork. We need to use a little bit of force down here, and it's done. This is how it should look like. I'm going to show you a second one. So it's basically a half moon. We're going to fold half the triangle in, and we're going to put the glue, and then we're going to fold the other half and make it to a cone. We're going to press the edges and put in the filling. Now we're going to put the glue on the edges of the pastry. And we're going to press it down. And we're going to firmly now use the fork to close the ends. Now make sure that the line, the line of the folding of the triangle is in the middle. If it's not, it doesn't really matter. It's just that normally this is how it should be, but practice makes perfect. So now that samosas are ready, now we're going to fry them. But to check the temperature of the oil, just break the crust of the pastry, put it in the oil, and if it comes up, that means the temperature is right to fry the samosas. Just carefully put the samosas in the frying pan, the wok. Now because our potato mixture is cooked and the chapati was already half cooked, we only need to get the color on the samosa, so it shouldn't take that long. So now turn the samosas over, and as you can see, they're getting a golden brown color. Now as you can see, our samosas have got bubbles. Now because we let our dough rest, that's why we've got bubbles, and that means that these samosas are crispy. More bubbles, the more crispy the samosa is. So all we need to do is just let it go golden brown. It should just take about 5 minutes. Do not overload your wok with samosas, because then the heat process slows down, the cooking process slows down. So this is the final look. My samosas are ready. I am serving it with chili sauce and a glass of Coke, because samosas, hot samosas and a cold Coke really goes too well. So if you like my recipe, then give me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more recipes like that, then please do subscribe to my channel. Till then, take care. Bye.